My name is Sandy. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Central Florida area. Today I want to do a topic on what are some of the common mistakes that a seller make when selling their property. What are some of these mistakes? Well, we're in June 2023 and the market is a little bit cranky. The market is cranky. No, it's not. So interest rates are high and we have less buyers on the market, and we're also competing with builders. So if you're looking to sell a home and you're in a neighborhood where we have builders building in the price range that you're selling at, we have to take some things into consideration. Same thing goes that if you're in the market and your property might need work or may not need work, all these things got to be taken into consideration. So what are some of these mistakes? Some of the mistakes that we make, one of the biggest one is not doing a pre-inspection before putting the property on the market. You should definitely have an inspector come out and inspect your property before putting it on the market. That will save you from so much different headaches. Because when a buyer comes to buy your property and they do a home inspection, this is where a lot of problems occur in the transaction. So if you get an inspector and they do a inspection, you will be aware of whatever problem there is, if there is any, in the home, and you have a chance to fix it, replace it, or bring it to the buyer's attention before you put it on the market. So inspection is a big one. Another thing is, you got to figure out, are you going to be doing the repairs or are you going to give the buyer a credit for the repairs, right? You got to figure that out. Because a lot of times when you give credit, sometimes the buyers, you're thinking it should cost $2,000 for a particular item. The buyer is saying it should cost $4,000. That becomes a problem. So can you repair it before you put it on the market? Another big thing is pricing. You have to price to sell. So are you pricing to test the market or are you pricing to sell the home? So you got to figure out, what are you doing? Are you in the position of, you know what, I'm going to put it on the market. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, all well. Or are you in the situation where you want to sell the property? So pricing will be very important, and it's important that you get the correct competitive pricing. A lot of mistakes that sellers make is, well, we just did granite counters, or we just did a pool, or we just did whatever, and we spent X amount on it, so we should get that money back. The unfortunate truth is, not because you spend $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 on the home mean you'll get that $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 back, right? Because think about it, guys. You did it for your own enjoyment. You put a pool in the back because you wanted to do a pool in the back, right? Because for your enjoyment. You did granite counters because you didn't like laminate or corian or whatever it is, or quartz, and that's why you did that. So you have to put some of the value on your enjoyment, like I did it for my enjoyment. And how long did you do it for? Did you do it and live another 5 years in the home and now you're selling it, or did you just do it to sell it? So if you're just doing it to sell it, you gotta make sure your cost is gonna be a part of what the market value will be when you sell the home. So it's important for you to understand that when you're doing upgrades, or you're doing the upgrade for you, just for you, because you want to enjoy it, it's going to make more, and it's going to cause the home to sell for more, not necessarily at the price that you did it for, but it will cause the property to sell for more. Or are you doing it now to make your home more competitive to sell faster? So that's going to be super important. What are some other mistakes? You want to find a reputable professional real estate agent to represent you if you decide to go that route. And how do you find that? You need to interview a few agents to see which one you really want to use and how knowledgeable that person is of your neighborhood. Another thing you want to do is you want to step back in the mind of the buyer, and you want to declutter and depersonalize the home so that when the buyer comes in, they could see themselves in the home and not see you in the home. Because if they see you in the home, they're not going to buy it. They got to see themselves in the home. So you got to be very aware of this as well. Another thing is the curb appeal. You have to have a really good curb appeal, and you have to make sure the home is clean, nice, and almost look like a model home when you're showing the home. That's going to be super important. Also, if you have an older roof, you may want to get wind mitigation done on the roof. So you could give the buyer a copy and say, hey, the roof is 11 years old, but it's great, there's no leaks, and here is the wind mitigation report. So these are some of the things that you could do to make the home look good and show good and not make some of these mistakes, right? Another mistake is you're thinking the buyer is going to like what you like, so you don't depersonalize, or you're like, well, this is the way we live, so they'll just like the way we live, and that's not necessarily true. Also, if you have a big backyard, if you have a little junk in your garage, you may want to declutter and remove some of that, because some buyers just don't like seeing that. They just can't see some buyers can't see beyond the clutter, right? So you want to declutter. So I hope these few tips help. I'm a licensed realtor here in Central Florida. If you have any questions or want to send any, if you want to get any more suggestions, any of that stuff, you could give us a call, send us a text. We're always here to answer any questions that you may have. And I don't like to make long videos because I feel people don't watch long videos. That's why I make it short and sweet. All right, thank you. I'll see you in the next video, guys.